One more topic. President-elect also over the weekend, he talked about his call with Taiwan and basically raised questions about whether the U.S. needs to be bound by the one China policy. Obviously, China is very upset about this and has raised serious concerns about it. I was wondering, I know that the Obama administration is saying that the one China policy is still in effect and it's very important. But I mean, I guess is there a concern going forward, because it seems like the next administration is not going to take that stance? Like, what are the consequences, I guess, if President-elect Trump follows through without respecting or with not respecting the one China policy?
Well, the United States government, under the leadership of President Obama, has been and remains firmly committed to our one China policy. That's also the policy, by the way, that previous presidents in both parties have pursued. And our country has benefited from adherence to that policy. One reason that we have pursued that policy is because the Obama administration does not view Taiwan and our relationship with Taiwan as a bargaining chip. Taiwan is not a source of leverage. It's a close partner of the United States. Taiwan is the 9th largest trading partner of the United States. And bargaining that away is not something that this administration believes is in our best interest. And in fact, I think you'd be hard-pressed to make the case that it's in the interest of Taiwan. But what we have been able to do by pursuing that policy and adhering to that policy is to have a close partner in Taiwan and a constructive relationship with China, where we've been able to make important, even historic progress on climate change, and where we've unlocked cooperation on the Iran deal. We would not have succeeded in completing a diplomatic agreement to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon without China's effective cooperation. We've been able to lower tensions around cyber issues. And we have been able to work effectively with the Chinese to ramp up pressure on North Korea. We certainly don't agree with the Chinese on everything, but where common ground does exist, we've been able to make progress in a way that benefits the American people and benefits the Chinese people, and when it comes to climate change, benefits the planet. That kind of progress is much more difficult if tensions are heightened around our one China policy. Okay, Justin. I don't have any presidential conversations to tell you about. I can confirm that U.S. officials, including senior officials of the National Security Council, have been in touch with their Chinese counterparts to reiterate our country's continued commitment to a one China policy. This is a policy that is based on 3 joint U.S.-China communiques that were negotiated by different U.S. presidents and different parties, and of course by the Taiwan Relations Act. This is a policy that's been in place for nearly 40 years, and it has been focused on promoting and preserving peace and stability in the Strait. The adherence to and commitment to this policy has advanced the ability of the United States to make progress in our relationship with China. It, of course, has benefited the people of Taiwan. Taiwan, after all, is the 9th largest trading partner of the United States, and they certainly benefit from peace and stability in the Strait, and pursuit of and commitment to that peace and stability advances U.S. interests. If the President-elect's team has a different aim, I'll leave it to them to describe. I think it's hard to determine exactly what the aim was of the President-elect. I know both the Vice President-elect and his campaign manager were, when asked about this over the weekend, indicated that these were courtesy calls, or that this was a courtesy call, and the President-elect was merely returning that call. The Washington Post today tells a different story, with some Trump aides indicating that this was a long-planned call, and that this is part of a broader strategic effort. It's unclear exactly what the strategic effort is, what the aim of the strategic effort is, and it's unclear exactly what potential benefit could be experienced by the United States, China, or Taiwan. But I'll leave that to them to explain. My understanding is that the facts are that these communiques were negotiated, one in 1972 by President Nixon, one in 1979 by President Carter, and one in 1982 by President Reagan. And those joint communiques have guided our approach to this region of the world. The Chinese government, Beijing, places an enormous priority on this situation, and it's a sensitive matter. And some of the progress that we have made in our relationship with China could be undermined by this issue flaring up.